Good evening, this is Michael Hamley from AmericanChina.org out of Suzhou. In this video, I'm going to discuss refractory periods in women, specifically Chinese women and African women, because these are the women whom I had partaken in a few sexual interludes during my first year in China, which was 2014 to 2015. And the refractory period is the period in which it takes, or the time elapsed between orgasms in a female and a male as well. The male has a much longer refractory period and takes him much longer to orgasm after he's had his initial orgasm than that of a female. Some females are multi-orgasmic. They can continue to have orgasms one after the other. Others have to have a longer refractory period, take a rest before they have their next orgasm. During my first year, and I wasn't Don Juan by any means, I did have a few sexual interludes, albeit nothing to write home about, with Chinese women, but not one of them was multi-orgasmic. They took a rather long time between the first orgasm and then their subsequent ones. In fact, I can't recall any of them having more than two in an interlude with me. So maybe it was me, who knows. But that changed, well, not changed among Chinese women. The sexual interludes in which I experienced women that had multiple orgasms all changed in the latter part of 2014 when I met a South African woman at the club called Club Han, which was an after-hours club. I used to go to the Club Piper all the time on Saturday nights, and then Club Han would open up at like 2 o'clock when Hyper started dying down. When I first encountered the South African girl, she wasn't really interested in me. She was actually interested in this other African guy. I think they may have gone home together and had sex. I don't know. They were hanging out with each other practically the whole night, and they were on the dance floor together, engaging in physical interaction. However, a couple weeks later, we met and she took some interest in me for whatever reason. And went back to her apartment, which was freezing cold. There was no heat. I mean, this is southern China, so they don't have heat in the winter. And it's not freezing cold like it is in New York or Michigan or Chicago, but it's fairly cool. I mean, it goes down to like 10 or 12 degrees Celsius, sometimes even 5 degrees Celsius, but that's not too frequent. But that night was particularly cool. It's like 8 or 9 degrees Celsius. She had no hot water. I took a shower in cold water. I don't have sex unless I have a shower, so if the water's freezing, I'm still going to have to go in there and take a shower. She didn't take a shower. It's frozen solid in there. I should have taken the water and heated up on her stove. That's what she suggested. So we got into engaging in the sexual interaction, and she had 2 orgasms within 15 minutes, one through oral sex and the other one through vaginal sex. And no refractory period, or very little refractory period. She had one orgasm after the other. I could tell by the more violent autonomic nervous responses from eating her out. That's when she had the first orgasm from the oral sex, and then the second one from the vaginal sex. She told me she had 2 orgasms as well, so I don't think she would have lied to me. And I'm fairly adept at discerning when a woman actually has an orgasm, as evidenced by the violent contractions of the musculature of her legs and hips. I didn't see the South African woman again. However, I did have some other sexual interludes with African women that semester, the latter portion of 2014, and they were all multi-orgasmic. I had not countered multi-orgasmic women, or rather the last time I encountered multi-orgasmic women was in Dominican Republic. a few in the Philippines, but almost all of them were in the Dominican Republic. And every single woman who I engaged in sexual interaction with in the Dominican Republic was multi-orgasmic and had extremely short or no refractory periods. Travel or die with AmericanChina.org.